Welcome to the Rusted Garden. Today I'm going to show you how to winterize your garden bed and how to kill snails and slugs now, so come springtime there's less of them around to eat your plants. The first thing you want to do is clear out all your old tomato plants, cucumber plants, anything vegetable related that may hold disease. If you have good eyes, you can see my watermelon plant is still in there. I'm going to remove that. I also crushed some eggshells and put it in there. I'm just going to use cheap topsoil, grass clippings and leaves, and newspaper to build up a layer for this garden bed, winterize it. In 4 months I will turn that into the garden, and then come spring I'll put in the compost, the manure, and all the good organic matter. But right now you're just using cheap soil, whatever you have around, to sort of seal off your garden for the winter and just let it sit for 4 months. Alright, so I cleared out the debris that was left and I turned all the soil over. The reason you want to turn it now is that it will close out caves and little places for the snails and slugs to hide and lay eggs. So you really are doing prevention right now. But I turned the soil over. This is the original soil. Now I'm going to put down maybe an inch of grass clipping and leaves, throw some topsoil on there, and I'll show you that process. What I'm doing actually is sort of making layers. So it's going to be dirt, newspaper, grass clippings in between, and it doesn't have to be technical, but you're just going to make layers and you're sealing off this ground for about 4 months until your spring planting time comes around. This is a 4 foot by 8 foot raised bed, and all I did was put down not more than an inch of grass clippings, maybe more like a ½ an inch. You don't want it to be too thick. Thick green grass isn't going to break down over the winter, so you want to just keep it thin so that it does have time to dry out. And then on the top of the grass, this is one 40-pound bag of cheap topsoil. So what I'll do is I'll put another 40-pound bag on the other half, and then I'm going to cover it with a layer or two of newspaper. So this is 1 or 2 layers of newspaper, and this is going to be your weed barrier. It'll help keep the weeds from sprouting over the next 4 months, and it'll just make the garden a lot cleaner for you when you turn it for the spring. So what I'm going to do next is I'm going to fill nearly to the top of my garden box with just plain old cheap topsoil, and then on top of that I'm going to put another layer of grass. I'm not going to put another layer of newspaper. I don't need it for this one, but you could, if you had a lot of space to go up in your raised bed, you can make another layer. It's going to take 4 to 8 bags of 40-pound topsoil to fill out the rest of this box. So you put in 4 to start, level it off, and then add more dirt after that. So that was 7 bags of 40-pound topsoil put on top. The topsoil was $1.37 a bag, $1.37 a bag at Home Depot. So I bought 10 bags. That was about $15 with tax, so it doesn't cost that much money. So what I have now is pretty much my raised bed is winterized for next year. I am going to put a layer of grass and leaves on top of that, and then I'm going to show you what I do to kill out the snails and slugs. But this is all you really want to do. It looks pretty good. Come springtime, everything will decompose and do what it's supposed to do, and on top of this I'll put manure, compost, and turn everything over. So I put a final layer of grass on the raised bed, and this pretty much winterizes this raised bed for next year. It's about October 15th. This will sit for 4 months before I use it. And again, this is just taking grass clippings, newspaper, cheap topsoil, and winterizing your garden bed. Come spring, I'll put organic matter on top of this and turn it over. Now the other part that I talked about was killing off snails and slugs. I use iron phosphate, which is this product, to kill slugs and snails. And if you look on the ground, you can see little white pellets sprinkled around. You can see them in the bed. The snails and slugs are still feeding, and what I'm doing is putting out these baited pellets across this bed. There's nothing really here for them to eat, but they will crawl around, eat the bait, and die, and they won't be back next year, and they won't be able to lay any more eggs. If you enjoyed this video, please check out my blog at www.therustedgarden.blogspot.com, and also check out my YouTube garden videos. I now have over 100 videos. Thanks.